So obviously this is something we can't fix right now, and we're not going to fix right now. But the question is, moving forward, at the end of this year, should we cut Sheldon Rankins? And it's something I've seen a lot in my comic section. A lot of people have brought this up. And, it's a legitimate question. Because at the end of the day, he's going to cost a lot of money. So we have him currently on a 2-year contract. This year, he's costing us $11.9 million, and we can't really do anything about that. But going into next year, we have a potential out on his contract. So his potential out on his contract is the 2025 year. We can potentially go ahead and cut him. We would have a $2 million dead cap hit if we did go ahead and do so. But we can move on from him and kind of, try to structure toward the future. And so far, he hasn't really been living up to the expectations that we have expected from him. He obviously has had some injuries. He has missed some games. And, as always, whenever you look at PFF grades, you got to take it with a grain of salt because, listen, at the end of the day, it's sample size. But, he missed week 3. He missed week 4. He missed week 5. He also, even when he has played, hasn't really played that good. And when you look at the fact of next year and that, cap hit of $11.5 million, you start to really think, hold up, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to do that. I saw that meme recently. But when you start to look at the fact that you have a out on his contract, right? And he's not giving you the production value. You start to look, okay, is it worth it, or should you risk it here and try to keep the guy and hope that he's going to turn it around? Or you just kind of say, listen, we're going to move on, we're going to cut ties, and we're just going to try to figure something out. And just admit that it was a bad signing, kind of like the Irv Smith signing. Although I think this signing was a lot better than Irv Smith, it's the same concept, You're like, okay, well, it sucks. Nick Scott signing kind of sucked. But it is what it is. You just gotta have to move on. Trent Brown signing also sucked. But, which, actually, when you really look back at it, man, our free agent signings lately have been absolutely awful. None of them have hit. Some of them have hit, but most of them have been garbage. Oh, lordy, we are not hitting on our free agent signings, which, listen, at the end of the day, you can't build a team by free agency. You can't. A lot of people think you can. A lot of people want you to. They'll be like, oh, go out there and spend $100 billion on free agents. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. With how expensive they are and how these contracts work, you can't. You have to build in the draft. You have to build in, throughout the second day, third day of the draft. You can't build through free agency. It costs way too much money, and half the time these guys might not work. A good example is us recently. Anyway, though, Sheldon Rankins, should we cut him? I think so, yeah. I think after this year, we cut him. Because $11.5 million is just not worth the production he's giving us. In no way. He could have a second year that's really good and really take off. And, I would love to see that if we did keep him. But the facts are the facts is you got to look at what have you done for me recently. And missing 5 games obviously is not his fault, but it's something that we can't afford to have, number one. Number two, it just isn't working out. And the problem is we're going to cut him and then we're not going to get a guy who replaces him or helps us out in any way. This is typical how our front office works. So this is going to be kind of the rinse, cycle, repeat process. But yeah, no, it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things where it's like we have a potential out and we're in a weird spot because we're not in a spot where I say, okay, rebuild, right? Rebuild. We're not a rebuild team. We're not. We have enough assets. We have enough, structure of a team, player-wise, that we're not in a rebuild. We're more in a relaunch type of situation. But usually when you're in a relaunch situation, you have 1 or 2 guys where you're like, okay, what to do? Relaunch here. We just need a quarterback. Well, we have that. We just need a left tackle. Well, we kind of need more structure, coaching-wise, on the offensive line. Plus, we probably need some more depth and backup on the offensive line. We've talked about this forever. We just need a cornerback. Well, we kind of need to revamp this whole secondary, including safeties. Defensive line, we just need an edge rusher. Well, we actually need better structure in the defensive tackles, which, when healthy, are actually pretty good. But we also need more consistent pass rush. We just need linebacker. Well, we kind of need more than linebacker. We need more speed, and we need more guys that can actually tackle, and we also need to teach them the fundamentals on how to play defense. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a relaunch. Because relaunch is like, man, if we just had a quarterback, we would be good. We just had this one player, we would be a Super Bowl team. With us, I think it's more of a fundamental problem. You really have to get together, communication, learn together, and develop better. And that's the problem. But again, starting off right away, unnecessary contracts need to be cut. That's just a fact. We're not going to pay you $11.5 million cap hit for mediocre and crap production. We can't. We just can't, buddy. So, move on from him. Here's what I'll say about Geno Stone, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you cut Geno Stone too. I don't think we should cut Geno Stone, and I know that's crazy to say, but he is 26 years old, okay? Second year, I think what we need to do with Geno Stone is we need to get him on the contract again, okay? I know it's like weird to say this. Get him on a contract for a 3 or 4 year contract, right? But because he sucked this year, and it sucks in general, get him on a contract that is like very team friendly. Okay, very team friendly and team that helps us out. Because if he has a year next year where he takes off, right? And I think he will, actually, to be honest. I think our defense will be a lot better. I think with him being 26 years old, he's going to have more time to develop and get better. And I think next year is going to be his year. I truly believe that. If that's the case, he's going to be on the last year of his contract. Man's going to want money. And we can't afford this whole, hey... Well, no, we can afford it, but our front office is like, you're a really good player. You have a lot of potential. You could help us win a Super Bowl. Leave. We don't want you. It's just how our front office works. So, I would love to see him get on the contract for maybe a multi-year contract before he has a breakout season, rather than just kind of, like right now, this season, in general, most of the players we have on our team, because how bad the season has gone, this is like the, brink of money. Like, this is the lowest we're ever going to get these guys at. So, we got to take advantage of that. You got to take advantage of situations like that. If you're like, hey, listen, this guy's kind of a building block for the future. We have a lot of faith and trust in him, and we think that he can be something, then get it locked down now. Because in the future, if he has even a remotely good season, man's going to go get paid. Safeties that have remotely good seasons get decent paydays. So, gotta keep that in mind. But Sheldon Rankins, you're fired. Peace out, guys.